Welcome to Cults and Secret Societies. I'm your host, Ben Carter. It was the summer of 1969. Los Angeles, California. A city known for its glamour and stars was about to be shaken to its core. The name Charles Manson, once a mere whisper in the wind, would soon echo loudly, forever etched in the annals of criminal history. Manson, a man with a troubled past, had formed a family, not bound by blood, but by something far more sinister. A man of small stature, with a hypnotic gaze, Manson held an uncanny ability to manipulate, to bend people to his will. He was the spider at the center of a web woven with threads of twisted ideology and hallucinogenic manipulation. The Manson family, as they were known, were not just followers, they were disciples, entranced by the charismatic yet chilling figure at their helm. The Manson family lived together on the Spahn Ranch, a dilapidated old movie set on the outskirts of Los Angeles. The ranch served as the perfect backdrop for Manson's macabre theater, where he preached his doctrine of helter-skelter, an apocalyptic race war he believed was imminent. This doctrine was drawn from Manson's twisted interpretation of the Beatles' White Album, particularly the song Helter Skelter. He preached that this song was a prophecy, a coded message predicting an inevitable and violent societal collapse. Manson was convinced that he and his family were chosen to ignite this chaos and emerge as the leaders in the new world order that would follow. Manson's teachings were not just bizarre interpretations of pop music, they were drenched in the rhetoric of the time, a perverse reflection of the countercultural revolution sweeping across America. In Manson's hands, the symbols of peace and love were distorted, weaponized to serve his sinister agenda. His followers, many of them young, impressionable women, were drawn into this vortex, lost in the charisma and apparent wisdom of their leader. As we delve deeper into the Manson family and the horrific crimes they committed, we must remember that these were not hardened criminals to begin with. They were ordinary individuals, caught up in a web of manipulation and control, led down a dark path by a man whose charisma masked his evil intentions. Their descent into madness and murder was a gradual process, a slow and insidious erosion of their moral compass under the influence of a man who traded in fear and manipulation. The story of the Manson family is a chilling reminder of how easily minds can be swayed, how quickly love can turn into fear, and how devastatingly destructive the power of a charismatic leader can be when used for evil. It's the dark side of the summer of love, a grim shadow cast over a time that was supposed to embody peace and unity. It's a story steeped in manipulation, fear, and bloodshed, showing us just how thin the line between devotion and madness can be. The origins of the Manson family lie in the late 1960s, a time of social and political upheaval in the United States. The Vietnam War was raging, the civil rights movement was in full swing, and the counterculture revolution was challenging traditional norms. It was a time of questioning authority, exploring alternative lifestyles, and for some, breaking away from mainstream society. In this atmosphere of rebellion and exploration, Charles Manson emerged and began to create his own counterculture, one that reflected his warped view of the world. Manson, a petty criminal with a string of offenses and a stint in prison under his belt, arrived in San Francisco in 1967, just in time for the Summer of Love. Here he found a city teeming with young, disaffected people, many of them runaways or drifters, looking for purpose and belonging. Manson, with his charismatic personality and his uncanny ability to tap into the fears and desires of these young people, quickly gathered a following. The Manson family, as they would come to be known, was born out of this chaos and disillusionment. Manson offered his followers a sense of community, a purpose, and an escape from the mainstream society they felt had rejected them. He preached a bizarre mix of Scientology, hippie philosophy, and his own warped interpretations of the Bible, creating a potent cocktail of mind control that kept his followers in thrall. Manson and his followers left San Francisco in the summer of 1968 and moved to Spahn Ranch, a dilapidated movie set in the Los Angeles area. Living in squalor, the Manson family cut themselves off from the outside world, their isolation further deepening Manson's hold over them. It was here, on the dusty plains of Spahn Ranch, that Manson's vision of helter-skelter took shape. This period of American history, with its potent mix of political unrest and social change, provided the perfect backdrop for Manson's dark vision. The Manson family was a distorted mirror of the countercultural movement, a perversion of the ideals of peace and love. Manson exploited the fears and insecurities of the time, twisting them into a narrative of impending doom that only he and his family could survive. As we continue to explore the story of the Manson family, we must keep in mind the historical context that allowed such a group to form and flourish. It is a chilling testament to the power of manipulation and the devastation it can wreak when wielded by a charismatic leader. At the core of the Manson family were key figures, each playing a distinct role in the making of this notorious cult. Aside from Charles Manson, the magnetic and manipulative leader, there were members who held significant sway within the group. Patricia Krenwinkel, Susan Atkins, and Leslie Van Houten were among Manson's most dedicated followers. These young women, barely out of their teens, became the faces of the Manson family murders. Their devotion to Manson was absolute, and their willingness to kill for him was a chilling testament to his control over them. Charles "Tex" Watson was another pivotal figure, serving as Manson's right-hand man. Watson was involved in the majority of the murders committed by the family, and his testimony later played a key role in convicting Manson and other family members. Despite their brutal acts, these individuals were drawn to Manson and his teachings, finding solace in the sense of belonging and purpose he offered. This was a crucial aspect of the Manson family's allure, and a key to understanding how a group of seemingly ordinary young people could commit such horrific crimes. The doctrine that bound these members together was a bizarre blend of various belief systems, a hodgepodge of Scientology, elements of the hippie movement, and Manson's own twisted interpretations of the Bible. At its heart was Manson's prophecy of an apocalyptic race war, which he termed helter-skelter, after the Beatles song. Manson preached that this conflict would annihilate the existing order, leaving the Manson family to rise from the ashes and rule the world. These beliefs were shared through intense group sessions, often fueled by hallucinogenic drugs. Manson would hold court, preaching his philosophy to his mesmerized followers. The use of mind-altering substances, coupled with Manson's charisma and manipulative tactics, made these teachings seem profound and persuasive to his followers. The beliefs were enforced through fear and manipulation. Manson used threats, physical violence, and psychological tactics to maintain control. He positioned himself as the only source of truth and salvation, making his followers believe they were dependent on him for survival. These ideologies were concealed from the outside world, with the Manson family presenting a facade of harmless hippie communal living. But behind the scenes, Manson was crafting a cult of personality, slowly pushing his followers towards the unthinkable. In the twisted world of the Manson family, the line between right and wrong was blurred beyond recognition. A potent mix of psychological manipulation, fear, and misguided loyalty held this deadly group together. The horrifying reality is that these elements can exist anywhere, and under the right conditions, can lead to unimaginable atrocities. As with any event of such shocking magnitude, the Manson family murders have given rise to numerous conspiracy theories. These alternative explanations seek to unravel the complexities of this case, often attributing hidden motivations and clandestine activities to the Manson family, and those believed to be connected to them. One of the most prominent conspiracy theories centers on the notion that Manson was not merely a deranged cult leader, but a pawn in a larger, more sinister game. Some theorists suggest that Manson was a product of the United States Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, as part of an operation known as MK Ultra. This covert program, which ran from the 1950s to the early 70s, was designed to research mind control and chemical interrogation methods. The theory suggests that Manson was either knowingly or unknowingly involved in the operation, used as a test subject for mind control techniques, or employed to carry out the CIA-AS objectives. The seemingly inexplicable power he held over his followers, his use of hallucinogenic drugs, and the family's orchestrated violence all fit into this narrative, adding fuel to the conspiracy theory fire. Another theory, although less widespread, contends that Manson was a fall guy in a plot to assassinate prominent Hollywood figures. The theory suggests that Manson's music industry connections, his failed music career, and the high-profile victims of the family's murderous spree all point to a hidden agenda within the Hollywood elite. According to this concept, the murders were a message to those who might oppose the powers that be in the entertainment industry. Some conspiracy theories even extend to the trial process itself, pointing to the media circus surrounding the Manson case as a distraction from other political events of the time, such as the Vietnam War. They argue that the sensationalism of the Manson family murders served to divert public attention and pacify dissent. It's important to note that these theories are just that, theories. They are not proven facts and often lean heavily into speculation and conjecture. Yet, they persist due to the enduring fascination with the Manson family and the profound impact their crimes had on American society. In the world of conspiracy theories, the Manson family murders are a fertile ground for speculation, providing a chilling look into the dark underbelly of society and its capacity for unfathomable cruelty. The lingering question is not just why such atrocities happened, but whether there are still hidden truths waiting to be unearthed. As we delve deeper into the Manson narrative, these theories remain an intriguing, albeit disturbing, aspect of the broader Manson family story. As we dig deeper into the Manson family, it's worth noting the cult's use of symbols, codes, and esoteric knowledge. This not only served to strengthen the bonds between Manson and his followers, but also created a sense of secrecy and power that further isolated the family from the outside world. One of the most notorious symbols associated with the Manson family was the swastika. Manson himself had a swastika tattooed on his forehead, which he later altered into a stylized X during his trial. The swastika is often associated with Nazi ideology and white supremacy, but Manson's use of it seemed to be more about shock value and rebellion against societal norms than any specific political alignment. Another recurring symbol in the Manson family was the phrase "helter skelter," taken from a Beatles song of the same name. Manson interpreted the song as a prophecy of an upcoming apocalyptic race war, which he believed the family would not only survive, but emerge as rulers in the aftermath. The term "helter skelter" was also found scrawled in blood at the murder scenes, further reinforcing its significance in Manson's twisted worldview. The family also used coded language, some of which was derived from popular songs of the time. Manson often quoted from the Beatles' White Album, interpreting the lyrics as secret messages or instructions. The family's interpretation of these songs was unique, tailored to fit Manson's narrative and further separate the family from the mainstream culture. There were also rituals designed to solidify Manson's control over the family. One of these was the so-called creepy crawl, a practice in which family members would break into homes not to steal or cause harm, but to rearrange furniture or leave odd objects behind. This was intended to create confusion and fear in the homeowners, a reflection of the chaos Manson sought to create in society at large. These symbols, codes, and rituals served a dual purpose. On the one hand, they were tools of manipulation, used by Manson to control his followers and foster a sense of shared identity separate from the rest of society. On the other hand, they were also mechanisms of defiance, a way for the family to reject societal norms and create their own world order. These elements were key components of the Manson family's identity, providing a framework within which Manson's followers could understand their role in his apocalyptic vision. They also served to further alienate the family from the outside world, reinforcing the divide between them and us, between the chosen few and the uninitiated masses. The Manson family was not beyond the reach of scrutiny. Over time, individuals both inside and outside the group attempted to expose its true nature. Yet the cult's response was often marked by deflection, disinformation, and even threats, adding layers of mystery and fear to an already disturbing narrative. One of the earliest attempts to expose the cult came from within its own ranks. In 1969, family member Paul Watkins testified against Manson and the family during the trial for the Tate LaBianca murders. Watkins, initially a devoted follower of Manson, had grown disillusioned with the family and its leader's increasingly violent rhetoric. His testimony provided a rare insider's perspective on the group, revealing the manipulation, fear, and violence that underpinned the family's seemingly free-loving exterior. However, the family did not take this betrayal lightly. Watkins reported receiving death threats from Manson himself, a chilling reminder of the cost of dissent within the cult. Despite this, Watkins remained resolute, continuing to speak out against the family even after the trial. On the outside, law enforcement and journalists also sought to bring the truth about the Manson family to light. The Los Angeles Police Department, or LAPD, conducted numerous investigations into the group, though these were often hampered by the family's nomadic lifestyle and their skill at evading detection. The media, too, played a crucial role in exposing the Manson family. Journalists like Vincent Bugliosi, who would later pen the definitive book on the Manson murders, Helter Skelter, helped to shed light on the group's activities. Through his diligent reporting, Bugliosi was able to piece together the complex web of deceit and manipulation that defined the Manson family. Yet the cult proved adept at deflecting these attempts at exposure. Manson himself was a master of disinformation, spinning elaborate tales designed to confuse and mislead investigators. The family's use of coded language and symbols further obscured the truth, making it difficult for outsiders to penetrate their insular world. Despite these challenges, the efforts of individuals like Paul Watkins and Vincent Bugliosi, as well as the LAPD, succeeded in tearing down the facade of the Manson family. Yet even as the truth was revealed, the cult's legacy of manipulation and defiance endured, a dark testament to the power of charismatic leaders and the susceptibility of those searching for meaning in a turbulent world. As we delve deeper into the teachings of the Manson family, we find a bewildering blend of spirituality, apocalyptic prophecy, and pop culture references. Manson's teachings were filled with esoteric and metaphysical ideas that he used to manipulate and control his followers. Crucially, Manson believed in what he called Helter Skelter, after the Beatles' song of the same name. He interpreted the song as a prophecy of an impending race war, which he believed the Manson family would be tasked with surviving and then ruling over. This apocalyptic belief was central to the Manson family's worldview, and it provided the justification for the violence they committed. Manson also drew heavily from the countercultural spirituality of the 1960s. He combined elements from various religious traditions, including Christianity and Scientology, into a syncretic blend that was uniquely his own. This spiritual mishmash was another tool Manson used to exert control, as it allowed him to position himself as a messiah-like figure, the only one capable of interpreting and guiding his followers through the spiritual truths he espoused. A core part of Manson's teachings was the idea of submission to his will. He preached that ego and individuality were illusions, and that true freedom came from surrendering oneself completely to the group's collective will, which was, in practice, Manson's own will. Yet even as he preached selflessness, Manson positioned himself as a divine authority. He claimed to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, a claim he used to justify his control over the family. He also believed in the power of his own music, which he felt could influence people's minds and alter reality. Manson's metaphysical teachings extended to his views on the cosmos as well. He believed in the existence of a bottomless pit in Death Valley, a place he felt held the key to surviving the apocalypse he prophesied. Manson also expressed belief in extraterrestrial life, claiming that he was in contact with an alien race known as the Original People, who would come to Earth and cleanse it after the race war. These esoteric beliefs may seem outlandish, but they played a crucial role in Manson's control over the family. They provided a shared mythology that bound the group together and allowed Manson to manipulate his followers into carrying out his violent plans. These teachings, rooted in spirituality and metaphysics, reveal the insidious power of belief and the lengths to which charismatic leaders can go to exploit it. The Manson family murders, and the shocking ideology that drove them, have had a lasting impact on our culture and society. They left an indelible mark on the American psyche, shaping our perceptions of cults, charismatic leaders, and the dangers of unchecked belief. The specter of Charles Manson has loomed large in popular culture. His life and crimes have been the subject of countless books, films, and television shows. His image, with his wild eyes and swastika-carved forehead, has become a symbol of unhinged fanaticism. He has been portrayed as the embodiment of evil, a boogeyman figure whose story serves as a warning against the power of charismatic leaders and the dangers of falling prey to their manipulative tactics. Furthermore, Manson's manipulation of the media was a precursor to the media-savvy tactics of many modern cults and extremist groups. He understood the power of image and spectacle, and he used them to his advantage. His theatrical court appearances, where he played up his image as a madman, captivated the public and kept his name in the headlines. This manipulation of the media continues to be a strategy employed by many groups today, who use the media to spread their messages and gain followers. The Manson family murders also had a profound impact on law enforcement and the criminal justice system. The investigation and trial of the Manson family were among the most high-profile and complex in American history. The case led to significant changes in investigative techniques, particularly in the handling of crime scenes and forensic evidence. It also influenced laws around the death penalty, with Manson's death sentence being commuted to life in prison after the California Supreme Court invalidated all death sentences prior to 1972. In the realm of religion and spirituality, the Manson family has served as a cautionary tale about the dangers of charismatic leaders who manipulate religious beliefs for their own ends. Manson's blending of various religious traditions into a syncretic belief system to control his followers has been echoed in other cults and extremist groups. His teachings on submission to the collective will and his positioning of himself as a divine authority are tactics that can be seen in many cults today. In education, the Manson family is often studied as a case study in social psychology, exploring themes of group dynamics, conformity, and the power of charismatic leaders. The Manson family has also had an impact on the field of criminology, with Manson's methods of manipulation and control providing insight into the tactics used by criminal leaders. The influence of the Manson family, then, extends far beyond the crimes they committed. Their impact on culture, law enforcement, religion, education, and more continues to resonate today. The legacy of the Manson family serves as a chilling reminder of the destructive power of unchecked belief and the dangers of charismatic leaders who exploit it. In the wake of such shocking and heinous crimes, it is perhaps not surprising that some have sought to explain the Manson family's actions through more radical theories. These theories range from the darkly supernatural to the utterly extraterrestrial, and while they may seem fringe or far-fetched, they often reflect deeper societal fears and anxieties. One theory suggests that Manson, known for his charisma and manipulative tactics, did not merely persuade his followers to commit the murders, but actually practiced mind control, a form of psychological manipulation. This theory posits that Manson, through a combination of drugs, sex, and carefully crafted rhetoric, was able to bypass his followers' rational thought processes and effectively control their actions. Theorists have even suggested that Manson may have been influenced by or learned mind control techniques from government programs such as the Central Intelligence Agency's CIA project MKUltra. This covert operation conducted experiments on human subjects in the 1950s and 60s to develop drugs and procedures for interrogation and torture, including methods of mind control. While there is no direct evidence linking Manson to this program, the idea that he could have used similar techniques to manipulate his followers is a chilling thought. In a darker turn, some theories delve into the realm of the occult, suggesting that the Manson family murders were ritual sacrifices, part of a larger satanic cult. Manson was known to incorporate elements of various religions, including Satanism, into his teachings. The very name of the family's infamous murder site, the Tate LaBianca murders, has been interpreted by some as an anagram for satanic tableau. While this theory is largely based on conjecture and symbolism, it taps into societal fears about the influence of dark, unseen forces. Then there are those who propose even more outlandish theories, suggesting that Manson was not a man at all but an extraterrestrial being, or even the manifestation of an ancient evil. Some posit that his ability to manipulate and control was beyond human, pointing to his hypnotic charisma and his followers' unswerving loyalty, even in the face of their own self-destruction. These theories often draw on the Manson family's apocalyptic beliefs, suggesting that Manson himself may have been a harbinger of the end times. While these theories may seem extreme, they underscore the deep discomfort and fascination that the Manson family continues to inspire. The very extremity of these theories reflects the collective struggle to comprehend the incomprehensible, to make sense of the senseless violence that the Manson family unleashed. In the end, perhaps what these theories reveal most is not the nature of Charles Manson, but the nature of our own fears and anxieties. As we conclude our exploration into the Manson family murders, there are still many unanswered questions, many pieces of evidence that continue to raise eyebrows, and possibly secrets that might forever remain hidden beneath the layers of this gruesome case. The darker corners of this story are still shrouded in ambiguity and uncertainty, leaving us teetering on the precipice of the unknown. The most glaring of these questions pertains to the extent of Charles Manson's control. How did one man manage to persuade seemingly ordinary individuals to commit such horrifying acts of violence? Was it purely psychological manipulation, or was it, as some theories suggest, due to more sinister and clandestine influences? This question looms large, and the full answer might never be truly understood. Then there is the question of the Manson family's real motives. We know that Manson preached of an apocalyptic war he called helter-skelter, but was this truly the driving force behind the murders? Or was there something even more malevolent at play? Some speculate that the murders were not just random acts of violence, but strategic moves in a larger, more insidious game. Could the Manson family have been connected to other dark forces in society, such as the rumored satanic cults or even the shadowy corners of government agencies? The evidence is circumstantial and speculative at best, but these questions remain a source of enduring intrigue. And then, there is the question of Charles Manson himself. Who was the man behind the monster truly? Was Manson merely a manipulative criminal, or was he, as some theories propose, something far more terrifying? Could he have been an extraterrestrial, a harbinger of the apocalypse, or even a manifestation of pure evil? These questions might seem outlandish, but they underscore the enduring fascination and horror that the figure of Charles Manson continues to inspire. These unanswered questions, these lingering suspicions, and these hidden secrets all serve to deepen the mystery surrounding the Manson family murders. They force us to confront the darker aspects of human nature, the terrifying power of persuasion, and the frightening reality that sometimes the most horrific acts of violence can be committed not by monsters, but by ordinary individuals under the sway of a charismatic leader. As we draw this journey to a close, let us remember that the Manson family murders are more than just a chilling tale of murder and manipulation. They are a stark reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink, and the power of a single individual to influence and control. And perhaps most chillingly, they are a testament to the fact that even in the face of such stark horror, there are still truths that may forever remain shrouded in darkness. Thanks for listening. This has been Cults and Secret Societies. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support the show, subscribe to the Forbidden Knowledge Network on Patreon. Subscribe now.